Welcome, welcome. 4th and 9 to victory. Man, still on a cloud nine. Happy with the victory. Hard fought victory on the road.
Yeah.
A defensive battle. Defense showed up. Uh, love that, we were behind. We didn't give up. Defense kept us in the game, kept making plays. To offense was finally able to get going. And we pulled this game out, right? We know our road struggles and things that we have, but that's 2 road wins within the conference this year. So this team is definitely growing. What we're going to do today, we're going to give our position grades and go through that from the game. Again, USC won 21 to 17 in Lincoln, Nebraska. Definitely a big win. And we're going to get right into it. So, B, we're going to start off. We're going to give our defensive overall. That includes all the defensive coaches, the grade we give them for the game, our offensive coaching for the game, our special teams, overall defense and overall offense, and overall grade for the team. And then we'll get into position groups.
Okay. Overall, defensive coaching grades. Defense, I want to give them a B plus. Again, we got to find a way to come out and start faster than what we typically start. Sure, the defensive held up and won us that game, but that's a situation to where they showed grit, they showed toughness, and they showed me an element of them that we haven't seen all season long. Again, we always go through the your motto: men lie, women lie, numbers never lie, but sometimes they can be misleading. But one part of that we don't see is, okay, what type of effort you're going to give when your back is against the wall? What type of heart you're going to show out there on that field when you're on the road in a blackout and a hostile environment? Are you going to fold like you have been in the past? Or are you going to show up and be tough and kill that narrative that you're a soft team? So for me, it's going to be a B plus. On the offensive side, I'm going to say a B minus. We couldn't get the passing game going. We had a turnover, and that has become somewhat of an Achilles heel for us every game now. And the penalties. You mentioned it in our last video that we had some false starts, which kind of like killed some drives inside of the red zone when we had the opportunity from the 2-yard line to go in for a score. Had a false start, which backed us up. We had to settle for a field goal. So we had to settle for 2 field goals in the first half, but came out second half, put that ball in King Miller's hands. Jay Mava did something that he hadn't done too much of here recently over this season. He's shown it before, but we've only seen flashes of it. Well, last night when his arm wasn't working, we had to have it on offense. So Riley did a good job with dialing up a trick play at the time where we needed. So for that, I'm going to say a B plus. Special teams, I'm going to give it an A. Your guy, the kicker, Ryan Sayeri, he's been money this year so far. 2 field goals, clutch field goals when we needed them. I think his longest was like maybe 45, 46 yards. So I'm going to say 49 yards. So I'm going to say special teams, an A. Overall team grade, I'm going to say an A minus.
Yep, 49.
Yeah, overall team grade, I'm going to say A minus.
All right. So for me, the defensive coaching staff is going to get an A. Even that first drive they came out, went right down the field, pretty much off that defense start holding them. But the reason they went down the field was not a schematic issue or anything. The right calls was there. We seen players not making plays. They switched players in and out, especially along the defensive line. We seen different fronts. We seen 4-man fronts. We seen 5-man. We even seen 6-man fronts, right, to try to stop the run. So it wasn't a scheme issue. A lot of times this guy was getting his yards. It was yards after contact. He came into the game leading in yards after the contact since Waymo been out. But I mean, we had defensive linemen hitting them at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage, and he was running through their arm tackle. So, but as far as the defensive scheme, the defensive coaches and the game plan they put together, I'm going to give them the A. The breakdowns that we've seen was not a schematic thing. Is players was missing tackles. So the defensive coaching staff is, as far as game planning, is going to get an A. Offense, Riley's getting the offensive coaching staff is going to get a B. It's not because the passing game wasn't getting going. Again, that's not schematic wise, that's player wise. We have players dropping balls. Mava didn't play his best game. But the reason he's getting a B is that, as you pointed out in the first half, what we did in the second half, we should have been doing that from the start, right? Running the ball, right? King Miller had, if I want to say, he had almost 100 yards, or he was averaging like 9 yards in the first half, right? So continue to give it to him. And in the first half, there are some times that we, do the down and distance and things like that. But if it's 2nd and 10, run the ball again. You know what I'm saying? Which what we did in the second half. I'm giving him a B+. The 3 trick plays were beautiful. I mean, we've been running trick plays all year. The Notre Dame game, we're not going to revisit that. I didn't have a problem with the call. A lot of people did. But again, it's one of those things. We've run trick plays all year, right? When it don't work, you see how everybody getting the uproar. When it works, no one wanted to give the kudos to it, but I am. Like I said, that flea flicker was a beautiful work of art. That 2-point conversion, beautiful work of art with that play design. Even the first trick play in the first half with Makai Lemon, where he was pretty much a wide receiver. It wasn't a jet sweep because it was an inside zone to him. I mean, we still got 3 yards on it. I like the play design, so going to give a B+ there. Special team an A. Mm-hmm. All I got is Ryan Sierra, and I'm gonna leave it at that. You already touched on it. Special teams an A, right? Our kickoff team covered good. Again, Ryan Sierra, what you say, he did his job. He kicked it into the end zone. Right. They brought it out. I don't blame them. Their kick returner was leading the nation in kick returns. Got a 95-yard on the year, but our kick coverage Saturday was much better. Did their job. Field goal, Ryan Sierra is the man. My overall defensive grade is going to be a B-. And the only reason they're getting a B- is, again, what you say. When one player is rushing for 160, 70 yards, it's hard to give you an A, right? We did a lot of good things, did a lot of great things, but overall defensive grade, I'm going to give a B-. Overall offensive grade, C. I'm sorry. If we're going to be critical on the defense, when they don't play up to the standard, we have to be critical of the offense. Maeva did the job with his legs, but the pass game was off, right? Due to offensive line play, due to quarterback play, due to wide receiver play, drop balls, missed throws. Chanuk Hines could have had 2 touchdowns. He had a step on him. Maeva underthrew him. Offensive line getting beat by 4-man rush, not a blitz or anything, right? 4-man rush, and they were able to consistently get pressure. Running backs, like you said, though the responsibility was for the offensive guard to take that inside man, and they missed. The running back is there as a backup, right? And the running backs were beat a few times, right? And pass protection. Once the offensive line broke down, they were beat. So overall grade on the offense is a C. So that's a A, a B, a C. So that's gonna bring that. My overall team grade is going to be a B for the team for that game.
Okay.
All right, moving right along. Position grades. We only played one quarterback this game, Jaden Maeva. 9 for 23, 135 yards or interception. On the ground, 11 carries, 62 yards, 1 TD, along of 17. What is your grade for Maeva for the quarterback room?
Of course, he wasn't that efficient on yesterday. Whether you want to chalk it up to the weather being cold, whether or not it's the pressure, it's still his job to get it to the receivers. However, he did come up big with his legs when we needed him to. As a matter of fact, he scored the first touchdown of the game. So for that reason, I want to say a B-. I am giving him room for error because he's played so well on the season. I don't expect for him to stay in that slump. But again, signs of a good quarterback, if you're not getting it done in one way, you resort to another one. So
we remember these are grades for the game. No?
Yeah, I know it.
No passes.
I talked about that. I'm not giving him a pass. I'm not giving him a pass. I said he didn't do it in one area, but he got it done in the next. Now, if we just totally lean on the running backs and he wasn't able to get those yards, then I would say probably a C minus, maybe even a D. But he was able to get those yards on the ground, in which we critically needed those yards. When the offense wasn't getting it done. Period. So for me, I'm going to say a B minus.
So for me, for quarterback off this game, B minus. Same. He struggled through the air. We already talked about it. Had his worst game of the year. Not worried about it. He'll bounce back. Right. Everyone has a bad game. But we seen with the pressure of the 4-man and him being taken off his mark, trying to throw on a run while moving, climbing the pocket. He was inaccurate. Some was behind, some was high. On the deep ball to Tanu, he missed because of pressure. He was throwing off his back foot, not stepping into it. But the reason he gets a B for me is because, like you said, where he was insufficient in one area, he was insufficient in the other. He kept drives going. When the pressure got there, when he decided to run, he ran. When on the zone read, in the pivotal times when we needed, he kept the ball. He actually ran it twice in a row. One was 17, the other was like 14 right after that for a touchdown. He also had another couple more big runs just from scrambling where he decided to, all right, the pressure's here. I'm going to take off. All right, so I'm going to give him a B. Though he only completed 9 passes, right? We know 5 or 6 of them was dropped where it hit wide receivers in the hand, and so I'm not going to knock him for that, right? Think about it. You give them those 5, they catch those 5 balls. That's 15. That's 15 for 23. Is looking a lot better, right? And he's probably at 200 yards. But as far as quarterback play and what happened, can't go off what if. He's going to get a B minus from me. All right. Going to rushing. King Miller led the team, 18 carries. The King Miller that was my pregame impact player. I gotta get my Brian Jenkins in here. King Miller, who was my pregame impact player of the year. Player of the game. 18 carries, 129 yards, 1 TD. His long was 16. We talked about Mava, 11 for 62, 1 TD, 17 yards. Brian Jackson, 5 carries for 20 yards. Harry Dalton actually got a run, 1 for 3. Total rush for 202. What is your grade for the running back room?
I'm going to say an A. I give him an A. The only thing I hate is that we didn't give King Miller enough opportunities to start the second half off with. You remember we came out and we were trying to pass the ball, and I'm like, that was at a point to where I was getting agitated with the play call, and I'm like, why are we not handing that ball to King Miller? If you look back at the first half of that game, he had 8 carries for 91 yards in the first half. So why not continue to feed them the ball? Also, Brian Jackson, like you said, I thought he was going to run the ball, on that attempt, on that flea flicker. I thought he was about to run it. So he really sold it. And the ability not to turn the ball over, get it back to our quarterback. Even with Harry Dalton, he came in, was effective, gave the starters, a breather. So I want to say an A+ on that.
All right, A+ for me. They're getting a B+. The reason I'm docking them down to a B+ has nothing to do with how they ran the ball. It has everything to do with pass blocking. It was too many times that we've seen the running backs get beat. And again, it's a lot of inexperience there. Brian Jackson, I don't believe is fully healthy, which is why we're not seeing a heavy dose of Brian Jackson with that toe. Again, turf toe, normally takes people a whole year. We know turf toe ended Deion Sanders' career. You know what I mean? So I don't think he is healthy. With King Miller and Harry Dalton, they're young backs, right? They're gonna get there. But as far as the pass blocking aspect of the running back room, I just seen too many times that they were beat, or they missed a block, or they went the wrong way, and a free rusher came right in and pressured Maiava. So for me, I'm going to give the running back room a B.
Okay.
I'm going to keep it right here on rushing. Not really stats that they put out, but you can go look at PF grades if you want. But let's go to offensive line room.
Offensive line, man. They allow some pressure, but I don't think that Marva wasn't sacked yesterday, was he?
Yeah, he was.
He was sacked.
I mean, well,
Maybe he gave up
those
a couple. He gave up a few intentional grounders, right?
which is pretty much sacks, right? They
It was
were
pretty much a sack.
they had him wrapped up, and he was just trying to
Right,
throw it away. I mean, you get the ball at the same spot, right?
right.
Same thing, pretty much, yeah.
It's kind of hard too because we got over 200 yards on the ground. I'm going to go with a B minus. I'll say a B minus for that offensive line.
All right. I'm giving him a B minus because this is 2 weeks in a row, and I know we had some shuffling. We had a offensive lineman get injured in this game.
Shout out to Hanson, man. Shout out to Hanson.
Yeah, we had another offensive lineman get injured in the game, but if the play he got injured, I mean, the linebacker blew him up. Like he's going to block the linebacker, the linebacker ran through him.
Was that the helmet? The helmet that who was that? Alana Noah had.
But he was blown. He was blown up.
He had a concussion. Did he left the game with a concussion?
But I'm giving a B minus. The offensive line was giving up too many pressures with just a 4-man rush. That's 2 weeks in a row. Not only that, it was multiple times. We seen Maeva running. We seen Miller running. And you see offensive linemen looking back at the play instead of blocking somebody, and a person run right past them that they were supposed to be blocking, right? I've seen too many times pulling guards and tackles on those counters, like totally whiff on the block, right? And where these plays could have been bigger. Not only that, those false starts. It's 4th and 2 on the goal line. You on the road. You can't false start, right? It's 3rd and 1. It's 3rd and 1. You in a road game, a close game, and you get a false start on the center. Right, like those plays can't happen. We end up getting in 3rd and 6. We try to run the ball twice, and that stopped our whole drive. We got stopped. So because of all the pressures that they gave up, those 2 big penalties on 4th and 2 on the goal line, 3rd and 1 when we were driving and we had to have it. Right, I got to give the offensive line a B minus. They did great in the run game. They definitely opened up some holes, but due to those things, I'm going to give a B minus. Moving on to the wide receiver room. Man, I'm glad Jaden Richardson is getting some clock. Right. Coming from the small school last year, he didn't really get much. I'm glad he getting some type of experience, right? Gotta love it for the kid. He had 1 reception for 43 yards. That was on their flea flicker. Tanuk Hines had 2 catches for 41 yards. His long of 29. Jacoby Lane had 2 for 22. Makai Lemon 2 for 18. Lake McCree 2 for 11. Total out of the wide receiver room, right? 9 receptions, 135 yards. What's your grade?
I'm gonna say a D. Typically, we see a stat like that down for 135 with 1 receiver, Makai Lemon, right? Or either Jacoby Lane.
Right.
We had some drop balls yesterday, and I think one of the more important catches was Jay Richardson on that flea flicker. Well, Maeva hit him deep. He came up big, and like I said in my impact player in our last video was Tanuk Hines. He's starting to show up to be a true freshman in a position like that. He's starting to show up, every week, with some big catches. Sure, he's had a drop here or there, but for the most part, he's been big time, and he's going to be one of those special guys moving on down the road. But we had too many drops. You prefaced it, we had too many drops on yesterday. Even if it's cold, I understand, the weather wasn't, the greatest. You're used to playing in sunny Southern California to where, you're going to get, 75, 80 degree weather at this time of the year. So it's pretty relatively warm and used to, the ball hitting your hands. But I got a rule, man. I got a motto myself. If it hit your hands, you bring it in. That's your job. So I want to say a D.
Yeah, man. I'm being a little benevolent and I'm going with the C. I'm going with the C minus. I'm sure. Were you in like a D plus or?
Ain't no such thing as no D plus, man. A D is a D.
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, like
No, it's not.
68. Yeah.
No. I don't mess around with no D plus. A D is a D, man.
I'm on the scale from 60 to 69. You saying it's a 60?
I'm saying it's a D. I'm not. It doesn't matter whether it's a 60
Okay.
or 69.
Well,
I'm
saying I'm gonna give them a C plus.
Okay.
And the reason I'm being benevolent, I'm giving them C plus. Though Jason Richardson had a drop, Jacoby Lane had 2 drops, Makai Lemon had a drop, Lake McCree had a drop, right?
Right.
That's one. There's 3. That's 5 drops. But the reason I am going to give them I'm giving them a C plus is I'm going to give them credit for the blocking they were doing in the run game.
Okay.
Not only am I going to do because when you're getting those gashes, even though a lot of them was like up the middle, but if you look at Kings Miller touchdown around the outside and all that, you look at Jaden Maiava's zone read runs to the outside, you had your wide receivers downfield sustaining blocks and holding blocks, right? So I'm taking them down for dropping the ball, but giving them some credit for the blocking they did in the run game. Not only that, we left some big catches out there due to Maiava underthrowing to Nuke Hines, and on one of Jacoby Lane's drops and on one of Lake McCree drop, yeah, you got to catch it because it hit your hand, but it was some tough catches because it was behind them. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna give them I'm not giving them grace to say you don't need to catch the ball, but I'm giving them a little grace in those manner with their blocking and what else they did and the totality, the toughness of those catches. So I'm gonna give them I'm giving them a C minus.
Okay.
Moving to the other side of the ball, Desmond Stevens led the team, 10 tackles, 5 solo. Anthony Lucas led the team in tackle for loss. He had a sack, but he had a tackle for loss, 1.5. Pass deflections was a tie between DeCarlos Nicholson and Marcellus Williams. Only had 1. Cam Crawford. I was like, man, let me say this name right because he changed it. Cam Crawford had 1 fumble recovery, which led the team. Man, if you look at this, bro, people saying if someone's not doing a job, why don't you try somebody else? Look at all the defensive players that played, right?
Right.
I mean, in the defensive backfield and across the line, like Isaiah Rubin played. You know what I mean? Kobe Pepper, Jaden Walker, Prophet Brown play yesterday?
Is he back?
It says Prophet Brown total tackles 1 and had 1 solo tackle.
I didn't know he was back.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch the game.
Yeah, we don't have to, man. I didn't know he was back.
I don't remember Prophet Brown.
I did see that the other linebacker come in, the freshman. What's his name? Number 44?
Mata Tagwell.
Yeah, I saw him come in for a couple plays.
Yeah, he was in. Kennedy Urlacher. Well, them probably on special teams for Kennedy Urlacher.
Yeah. Well, no, Mata Tagwell, he did play. I saw him in.
No. I'm saying Rubin and Urlacher was probably special team.
Probably.
But I don't remember Prophet Brown. But they got him in there for a tackle. I don't remember Prophet Brown playing.
Maybe it was on special teams. Maybe they're easing him back with special teams.
Man, I hope they ain't wasting his what he can have as a medical red shirt and be back next year. And
it might be a situation to where he might be moving on regardless, man. After this season, because I think he's in his red shirt senior year.
Yeah, but he can take a medical red shirt, and I doubt he's put anything on film enough to be trying to go to the league. You know what I mean? So, but let's get to it. Your defensive line group grade.
Defensive line group, I'm going to give them a B plus. Again, our defensive line. Shout out to Anthony Lucas, man, getting back there, getting that strip sack. Shout out to Cam Crawford for recovering that fumble. We did give up some yardage in the first half, but the defensive line showed up in the second half. They got some pressure on Raiola, and they definitely got some pressure on that freshman quarterback. Again, I want to reiterate that we didn't give up but 3 points in the second half, so I'm going to go with a B plus for them. You there? You on mute. Hold on.
My mouse froze. I couldn't
Okay.
do
Okay, I
I
got
couldn't
you.
talk. And yeah, I had looked it up. Prophet Brown didn't play yesterday, so I don't know where they're getting that from. I have no idea where they're getting that from. I don't know where it's coming from. But my defensive line group, defensive line grade, I'm giving a B as well. They were, even when they didn't get there, they were able to pressure. As we knew, Nebraska whole offense is they throw short, they don't go downfield because of their offensive line struggles. They get the ball out of Raula's hand quick.
Right.
But they were pressuring the quarterbacks and things all night. You know what I'm saying? Even on the quick stuff, we didn't get many tackles for loss, but we were able to get a sack, come up with a fumble when we needed it. But the reason, and it's a B minus for me, and the reason I'm giving a B minus is that again, we can't ignore that we still have issues and we can't stop the run.
Right.
And a lot of that is that we've seen in the game, and we were talking about it too. Defensive linemen still struggling to get off blocks. Not only that, when they are getting off blocks and they're hitting the running back at the line of scrimmage, they're not wrapping them up. He's running through their arm tackles, right?
Right.
That has to get better. So for me, that takes him down to a B minus. Linebacker room.
A for two people, man. Eric Gentry and Desmond Stevens. Desmond Stevens showed me a different side of him on yesterday, and like we said, in an earlier segment, since you showed us to us, that's what we're going to expect from now on. He was physical. He filled the gaps. He hit when he hit the ball carrier, he wrapped him up. Taking on those offensive guards, man. I was proud of that kid on yesterday. So, and Eric Gentry, he gonna do Eric Gentry things. So, for me, man, it's an A. It's an A.
Yeah. So for me, it's a B plus.
Okay.
For linebacker room, compared to what we've seen previously, it would be an A. But compared to expectation and what needs to happen, for me, it's a B plus. Okay. The reason I say that, Desmond Stevens played phenomenal, right? But there were still some plays in there in the running game, but in the pass game, there were some plays in there where he didn't carry his guy into the zone and let him go, and we were hit on some things. Also seen a couple of missed assignments and missed tackles, not from Stevens, from the running back group. The linebacker group. Okay. Jaden Walker had a couple, right? And so just for that, but I just want to say, you giving them an A and me giving them a B plus is definitely the highest grade.
Right.
Our defense ain't seen grades like this.
No, they haven't.
Hey, and I want to keep giving them. I want to keep giving them.
I expect to keep giving them.
Yeah, I want to keep.
Here's my thing, Chris. Once you show me you could do it, that's what I expect from going forward.
Yep, but here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. Once you show me you can do it, and then you don't do it, I have to get the red pen out.
Oh yeah.
All right, moving right along. Defensive backs.
Oh man, we talked about it before, man. The two that have been making the biggest stride, that have made the biggest strides, and they're making the biggest impact. Shout out to Marcellus Williams, the young cat that's in the defensive backfield, and shout out to Carlos Nicholson, who's the vet back there. Those guys have been playing big. Also to a captain back there, Kamari Ramsey. He switches from nickel to safety, back and forth. His natural position is that safety, but he's made that switch for the good of the team. He's putting team first. And last but not least, Mr. Fitzgerald, I saw him attack yesterday, get a TFL at a critical time. Unfortunately, it was right before we got that unsportsmanlike penalty that was thrown on DeCarlos. You got to do better with that. I say if you're going to get an unsportsmanlike, make it count. Make it count with a hit, not with talking. So, if you're going to get that, make sure they come with a hit. You're going to inflict some pain on somebody. So you're not hurting them with your words, DeCarlos. So for me, it's going to be an A, man. I get at those defensive backs an A. They gave up one We gave up 1 touchdown through the air, and that was on a contested catch.
All right. For me, defensive backs is going to get a B. This is why. And kudos to them. Both safeties had a tackle for loss, right?
I already know what you're about to say. I already know we're going to get it on. I already know.
Both out of 5 tackles for loss we had, 2 of them was by safeties, each one. But I do have to give. I'm giving us a B plus. And the only reason why, it's not even that the Carlos Nicholson play where he got beat by Trojans. That was just a great. He was there. His hand was there. It was there. But the reason I got to give him a B plus is because of safety tackling.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna put it on.
The safeties missed a lot of tackles. Man.
I knew
How many times on the line we were watching that, we're like, come on, you got to make safety. You got to make that tackle. Come on,
he
you
didn't wrap up that one time. I agree with that.
It was more than one time. I'm
talking about the one that really stood out, though.
Yeah, it was more than one time. I'm like, it was 3 or 4 times that our safeties were in position to make tackles, and he didn't make them. And a few of the times wasn't noticeable because Marcellus Williams came on and made the tackle, but we could have had him behind the line of scrimmage, and it ended up turning to a 2-yard game. Someone covered at 6, but it's like you got to make those tackles in the open field. Yeah, you got to bring them down. So for that, the defensive backs are getting a B from me. I definitely love giving these grades, especially defensively wise, because normally it'd be like F. What else to say?
Right.
They got to say. Well, man, we done hit every position group, team group, overall scores. So that definitely concludes it for our position grades. We definitely appreciate everybody. Be looking out. We will be going live Friday for the Northwestern game. Thursday, you'll see a video come out of our pregame and review film study on what we can expect from a Notre Dame game and what we expect to see USC do to attack Northwestern. Yeah, no, I definitely don't want to go back to Notre Dame.
Let's not go back there.
I'm having PSD. The Northwestern game. But again, appreciate everyone for your support, subscriptions, liking and commenting, joining us live, sharing your opinion. Just special shout out to you guys. We definitely appreciate it. B, before we get out of here, you got anything else?
It's the same thing on the echo. Hey, continue to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell for notification.
All right, man. We definitely appreciate you guys. Until later on, as always, fight on, fight on.
Fight on.